Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and imagine for a moment that you work for a company in something to do with finances. You're maybe the controller, accounts payable, maybe you're the CFO, vice president of accounting, whatever that is. And one day you get a call from your CEO, you have a pleasant conversation with the CEO, and the CEO says, "Oh, hey, by the way, I need you to move money, from one place to the other due to a deal." No problem. You talk to the CEO, and the CEO said this. And then you find out after you move the money, you didn't actually talk to the CEO. You talked to a hacker that was using technology that made him or her sound like your CEO. And that's where we are today. Security researchers at Symantec actually caught 3 of these in the wild. Well, in each case, the company's CEO was impersonated using artificial intelligence and deep fake technology. Now, the hackers basically culled the information on these CEOs through either interviews that they found on YouTube, TED Talks they might have done, all that kind of stuff, earnings calls that have been reported, especially for larger ones, and basically millions of dollars were stolen from these 3 organizations or these 3 corporations, and we are continuing to see a rise in deep fakes. And so when we're looking at this holistically, we now have to set up a new set of standards for a verification, because you just literally talking to your CEO doesn't necessarily mean that you have verification that money should be spent or money should be sent. And so that's an issue. And we've seen a rise in deepfake videos as well, where we are looking at this. And I literally just had this conversation with one of my followers the other day as well. When do deepfakes become illegal? And I think it's interesting because deepfake technology, I think, has some abilities to be fun. We've seen videos of, like, let's say Arnold Schwarzenegger being impersonated by another comedian on a talk show, that kind of thing. I believe it was Jordan Peele that impersonated Barack Obama, and then just kind of make everybody aware of deepfakes. But at some point, disinformation gets out there, whether it's a CEO being impersonated to move money, or, God forbid, somebody, impersonates a major world leader, like, the president of the United States, and puts out a video that says, oh, we're nuking a country tomorrow, or something along those lines, and literally causes a panic. And so I think that's a very serious issue that we have to combat. But by virtue of this, how do we create a new standard for technology, specifically verification through the use of technology? If we can't trust what we're seeing on our screen or who we're talking to on the phone because they're so easily impersonated, and believe me, I've done TED Talks, I have YouTube videos, there's plenty of my voice samples out there. Now I have to look at my own staff and say, how do I protect them? How do I get verification, with them, to ensure that who they're talking to or seeing or whatever is actually me? And I think that's a very important thing that any organization where you have leadership in the public sphere needs to be looking at. Not to mention the fact that you could probably take, as artificial intelligence gets better, let's say your own, the CEO is not really in the public sphere, but did a interview on local news 20 years ago. Well, that information can probably be culled, and more advanced artificial intelligence might be able to reproduce the voice fairly easily compared to the technology today. So as this progresses, it's going to get continuously more precise, which makes it continuously more worse for cybersecurity personnel. So it's something to consider, but we are literally seeing CEOs spoofed in the wild over the phone. And I think that's a new era for cybersecurity that we all need to address. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.